Behind me is the ultimate 392 JL Wrangler. We just finished the build and want to show you exactly why we chose the best of the best components to make this thing a reality. So we've made great progress on the 392 and I want to provide a little bit of update as to where we are. We've got the entire Metalcloak 3.5 suspension all installed, and with the Fox 2.5-inch diameter shocks, we ran into a couple different issues with shock length. Metalcloak requires a 30-inch long shock front and rear, so essentially the same shock can be used at all four corners. Fox sells a piggyback reservoir shock for the rear and a shock with a remote reservoir and hose for the front. What we found with the Gamechanger kit, because of the really long sway bar end length, the sway bar was directly contacting the reservoir hose. So we didn't feel comfortable shipping it out that way because we knew that there were going to be problems. So when we looked further into the shocks, the factory lifted shock from Fox is the 2.5-inch diameter. This is their rear shock, and we've mounted in the front orientation. All in all, that looks really, really good. It fits perfectly. There is a little jam nut here on top of the shock, so we can get the position of this reservoir exactly where we want it to be. A minor change that we did to the bump stop was to utilize these bump stops from TerraFlex instead of Metalcloaks. Metalcloaks are a softer bump stop, and with utilizing Fox's hydraulic bump, we wanted to make sure that it was a perfectly flat, smooth, hard surface for this thing to strike on. The 392s have a longer bump stop tower. So what we did is take some measurements off of a non-392 and cut it appropriately so that this hydraulic bump, it goes right in the factory location. Another thing we did while we're doing the re-gear, the customer wanted some sliders just like these. It will go over the diff cover. We are using Spicer covers, and the cover was so big that it hit the inside of this skid plate. So what we did is ground away the inside of this and bent this just a little bit to clear the differential cover. We got to drive this thing a fair amount, and it turned out really nice. The Jeep handles beautifully. We've of course got these bump stops set accordingly so that we've got no tires rubbing anywhere in the suspension. This is as dialed in as it gets, and it is ready for the most difficult trails that this guy's gonna see anywhere up and down the East Coast. The articulation that is out of the box with this Metalcloak 3.5-inch Gamechanger is absolutely out of control. As you can see, we've got it flexed out. Now the Jeep is in 4-low with the sway bar disconnected. So this is the maximum amount of articulation that you could ever see in a 392 just like this. As you can see, we've got it all right there. We've got the Metalcloak 3.5-inch Gamechanger. We also use the Metalcloak steering, which is incredible. One thing I want to point out is this steering stabilizer is actually a JK steering stabilizer. The factory JL stabilizer mounts down below here, and with this Metalcloak steering, obviously you can't use that. We did have to finesse this steering stabilizer in here a little bit. We had to use a very small, thin nut for there. We ground down the stud, and because of that big Spicer cover, we had to make sure that the body of the clamp was mounted just right on the tie rod so that it didn't hit the differential cover. Something we didn't quite talk about yet is vehicle protection. Now, as you can see, we didn't do anything here. The customer is still a little bit undecided with exactly what we're gonna do there. Metalcloak makes a kit, Artec makes a kit, Rock Hard makes a kit. There's a lot of options, and he's still weighing his options out there with what exactly he's gonna do. Now, one thing we did is these LOD Signature Series rock sliders. The only thing I can say about these is they are massive, definitely overbuilt, definitely gonna protect the body of the Jeep from any rock rash that you may encounter. A couple other skids that we did while we were here is of course the diff covers, the sliders for underneath the differentials, and lower control arm skids. The front lower control arm skids we welded on. The rear ones are a really nice bolt-on option from Rock Hard 4x4. We've just got the 392 all wrapped up. We've flexed it out, we've aligned it, and it is ready to go. The owner's gonna be here tomorrow to pick it up, and I can't wait for him to get here to show him exactly what we've done. He's gonna be blown away with how well this vehicle handles on-road and even better off-road. It's gonna be awesome. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel because we're cranking out builds like this all the time. Be sure to follow us because you'll get the newest videos that we crank out every day. Be sure also check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're at all those places cranking out awesome off-road content. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.